I'm at my dog sitting job in a pretty old countryside farm, and the lady who does the cleaning up here told me this morning that there are old tunnels, now closed up, running from the house to the church, 1 kilometer, and I did not want to know that. Imagine what could come from there. Gals, ghosts, vampires, possibly even Christians, which is totally the last things we need in this house. Like, I'm pretty sure TikTok has existed for longer than Vine did at this point, but I'm yet to actually see an iconic TikTok. Like, people always caption like, this TikTok is iconic, but I've never seen one stay in the public consciousness for any longer than the 2 minutes it appears on my timeline. I never see people quote TikToks, or like, act them out with their friends or anything. Not a single TikTok I've seen has had any actual staying power. Meanwhile, I can just say like, road work ahead, and I would bet a good chunk of you have just read that in the guy's voice. I still see people tag things like, I wish I was jarred. 19. One night at the bar where I work, we started an impromptu dance party purely by saying hi, I'm Renata Bliss, and I'll be your freestyle dance teacher. I guess brevity really is the soul of wit. It's weird to think that nighttime is the natural state of the universe, and daytime is only caused by a nearby, radiating ball of flame. Don't F me up like this. You'll remember being 15. That was fucked up. Age distribution of hospital visits due to punching walls. I love the 169-year-old that punched a wall. All animals go to heaven is just a logical planning. You're telling me every crocodile that ever lived is in heaven? Heaven must be swarming crocodiles. Does that sound like heaven to you? Thousands of millions of crocodiles? Slams fist on table. Yes, damn it. And Steve Irwin is showering them all with affection. But does every stingray go to heaven? I mean, what if Steve Irwin just randomly came across the stingray that killed him? Steve would probably pat it and say, sorry, I spooked you mate, gosh, you're a beauty. You must have grown 3 times since I last saw you. We never deserved Steve Irwin. Passover and Easter gonna have some weird vibes this year, y'all. Me, smearing lamb's blood on my door to ward off plague. Oh wait, there's a holiday happening? Those I don't have 2020 vision posts were right. I literally never could have told you this is how the year would go. That ADHD feel when instead of reading long text like a normal human, your eyes decide to skip across sentences and read whatever it wants, like the uncontrollable heathens they are, and you take 3 billion x longer to read something, because every few words you gotta force yourself to go back to actually read the sentence in chronological order. In fact, I'm convinced the reading lever in my brain is set to best stuff first, and if anyone knows how to turn it off, that'd be great. 200,000 years, and human societies still haven't figured out how to deal with sexuality. Come on people, you're embarrassing us in front of the other mammals. Homosexuality is seen in over 1500 species, homophobia is only seen in 1. The implication is that homophobia is unnatural, an aberration, if you will. Hawaii volcano cracks big smile before erupting. I'm fine. It's like presenting a dog with a sirloin steak and expecting him not to eat it. Well, I presented my 2 dogs with an actual sirloin steak, then told them no. Woofles didn't even approach it when I set it down, as I hadn't told him it was okay to do so. Quinn approached it, completely ready to take it from the plate, as her manners are not yet as good as Woofles' manners, was told no, and immediately backed off. When Woofles heard the no, he turned away as well, because he knew that steak was not for him to eat. Notice how they didn't argue, didn't take it anyway, didn't get aggressive, didn't beg, or didn't try to somehow persuade me that they should be able to have it. They were told no, they backed off. So, essentially, if you use that analogy to excuse rape, you're saying you have less self-control and fewer basic social manners than my 2 dogs. That also probably means you should be neutered and kept on a leash. Till, while most countries place the currency symbol either before or after the amount, the Cape Verdean escudo places its symbol in the decimal position, i.e. $20.00. This is the only wrong way to do it. Sometimes people use respect to mean treating someone like a person, and sometimes they use respect to mean treating someone like an authority, and sometimes people who are used to being treated like an authority say, if you won't respect me, I won't respect you, and they mean, if you won't treat me like an authority, I won't treat you like a person. And they think they are being fair, but they aren't, and it's not okay. Jinkies, zoinks, jeepers, rara. Fred stands in silence, for he has no catchphrase. Just found out there's a fetish thing called findom, where rich people get off on sending vast amounts of money to people who verbally abuse them. And hey, just saying, if you're into that HMU, I got a PayPal, and I'm mean. Ma'am, this is a new woo free zone. Everyone who reblogged this post with an ow or you woo is under arrest for crimes against humanity. Crimes against humanity. I'm going to break your fingers. This Mawatl vessel is only a shell of the how was within. The cha-cha slide in full metal armor. Slide to the left. Indescribably loud screeching of metal against asphalt. 1 hop this time. Clunk. 2 hops this time. Clunk clunk. Everybody clap your hands. Clank 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 clank. You really can't go wrong with the snake goddess. Dude, you really can't. This is the first ad I've seen on here that actually fits Tumblr's demographic. We found love in a hopeless place. Pebble. Finally, after 6 million long years, I have finally washed up on shore. No longer am I a slave to the tides. No long. Me, picking up Pebble and chucking it into the ocean. Haha, sploosh. So cringy when people are like, cats aren't affectionate. I know this firsthand. Maybe your cat would follow you around as well if your vibes weren't so rancid. Take it from a B in management and talent. There is no abusive, misogynist, sociopathic genius out there that can't be replaced by an equally creative person who is not a living trash fire. Every abusive whole genius rock star you've heard of has one thing in common. They've driven more talent out of their industry than they will ever be able to make up for. And what's worse is every shhead stan out there has works they can point to, like, but look at all this art we would have missed out on if he had been held accountable from the beginning. How do you quantify all the cinema that could have been? How do you account for the careers abandoned because giving up on your dream was better than putting up with Roger Ailes or Harvey Weinstein or Louis C.K. or any number of other power players, geniuses, authors, rock stars, what the F ever? You can't. F your favorite oeuvre. Give me back the artists that f***er stole from the world. Do you ever get in those moods where you don't feel like reading, and you don't feel like being on the internet, and you don't feel like watching a show, and you don't feel like sleeping, and you don't feel like existing in general, but you want to do something? It's in words. Happiness is Sosig, Sarah, age 100. This is clearly a wise person. I mean, 100 years. Observes you. You behave like a particle. Behaves like a wave when you stop observing me. Boss moments. The preacher may never marry us, and my mama may never know you, but I can kiss you over a flask of whiskey and dance with you under the stars, and if that isn't marriage, I'm not sure what else God is looking for. Till Karl Marx once participated in a London pub crawl. After 18 pubs, he and his friends started throwing rocks at street lamps, at which point he was chased by 4 policemen, who he managed to outrun. Hot girl summer. When Shakespeare wrote Beware the Ides of March, he was talking about coronavirus. When T.S. Eliot wrote April is the cruelest month, he was also talking about coronavirus. When Andrew Hussey named his webcomic Homestuck and had it start mid-April. Guess fucking what? David Cronenberg and Clive Barker. Who are the dudes holding them? Stephen King and Jerry Seinfeld. I tried drawing a frog for the first time, and I don't know what went wrong. Suffering. I had a dream. I was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and Kylie had gotten cyborg legs, like they had taken the legs of an AT-SG from Star Wars, and put them on her lower half, so she was like 11 feet tall, and Kim was like, I think Kylie's new legs are so fun. I literally think about this post every day. Have you ever not liked someone in a romantic way, and everything is cool, and all then they do something small, like touch your shoulder, or say something funny, and you just kind of freeze, and think, oh no. Being a Harry Potter fan in 2019. Stressful, embarrassing, your fav author is always sharing problematic opinions online. Being a Twilight fan in 2019. Glorious, somehow still helps you make new friends. Your fav author hasn't logged on since Wi-Fi was invented. Fav author is a stretch honestly, but yes, the Renaissance is thriving. B. You think you want me to shut up? I have to listen to myself, even when I'm not talking. Wow, this is a fucking mood. Carol Marks ghost watching me check out at Sephora, right after I just ranted about capitalism on Twitter for clout. Did you know? Gravity Falls creator, Alex Hirsch, is credited for voicing the character Bill Cipher, but in actuality, Bill is possessing Alex, and using him as a vessel, to speak to the outside world. Hirsch accidentally traded his soul to Cypher at the age of 7 for a Snickers bar. The entirety of the show Gravity Falls is just an elaborate cry for help. Another argument with my boss. 2020 does not pass the fucking vibe check. What in the F is this? 2020 is the vibe check. Gamers will see water and be like, I'm physically incapable of digesting this. You're really stuck up on this, gamers. Don't drink anything idea. Huh. Gamers have cold blood and live in the sand. As part of my reform package, I promised to turn all rich people into furries, so instead of spending all their money on super yachts, they spend it on commissions, which have a significantly higher rate of economic recirculation, and a significantly lower carbon pauper. But there's gonna be a lot of inflation. You put that sentence back in your mouth. My cat Meatball's Nuka sweater started kinda coming off, so my girlfriend went to fix it, and as she did so, she said to him, in her most tender and maternal voice, is your shirt coming off? The first 5 words of this post alone contain so much storytelling. If someone was covered in paper cuts, and you threw them into a pool of lemon juice, how long do you think it would take them to die? What circle of dance inferno did you crawl out of? What if you rolled their body and sold first? Easy there, Satan. Margarita of pain. Murderita.